Here's the thing. You're hurting Hannah's feelings by being a people pleaser.
Yes. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see you wearing a pelvic freak tank and being a people pleaser. If you're wearing a pelvic freak tank, you're giving Samantha Jones energy. Welcome to Pelvic POV
with your hosts and doctors of physical therapy, Amanda Neary and Hannah Meyer. Hey, pelvic freaks. Welcome back to another episode of Pelvic POV.
We're your freaks for us and we're freaks for your pelvis, baby.
Do you think you're a people pleaser?
At times.
Yeah, me too.
At times I do.
I think I'm way less of one than I used to be.
Oh yeah, 100%. Can you imagine if we were still like our old selves?
No.
No. But there are times where I am a people pleaser for sure.
What are your times?
I think it's the Gemini in me because I'm very adaptable. I'm very adaptable, which means I kind of am a people pleaser, but it's more like I am a reflection of who you are talking to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In group social settings, this actually, an example came up the other night. I was at an event where two different friend groups were like independently going to this event. And I was like bouncing between them at the end, like, what do you guys want to do? What do you guys want to do? And I was like trying to, and I was like, I want everyone to be happy, but I can't be everywhere. And I also want to go home.
1,000%. In group settings, I am a people pleaser because I'm always worried about everyone else having a good time.
Yeah.
That's why it took me so long to plan a birthday party because I was like, it's my birthday party, but I'm trying to just literally make plans to make sure everyone else has fun.
I know.
Not me. I still had fun.
I know. I think it's one of those things that, because I think a lot of people relate to this, right? I don't think many people are like, I don't care if anyone has fun with me. But I think it's one of those things that like the more fine-tuned your friend group is and like the people you're around are aligned with you, the less it's an issue. Because like you guys like the same things. You know your friends really well. Like you have that level of intimacy where you can be honest about things. It's always harder in groups where you like don't know someone or like you're trying to learn people or there's like a bigger setting and you have like your really close friends, then your more distant friends like all in one place. That's when I struggle with it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other examples, but usually it's just like, because I am a very like laid back person. So usually I'll like make myself uncomfortable before I make someone else uncomfortable. So like that means, for example, like if I'm going out to dinner Saturday night, and I'm going with like a group of like 4 girls, I'll be like, I'll give like options. And I'm like, you guys just choose. Like, I don't care. Even if I like really wanted to rather go like one place, like whatever.
Yeah.
Cause I don't want to be like the person that like takes charge in the group.
Yeah.
You know?
I like will end up doing it if I can sense that no one else wants to.
Yeah.
And I also like hate being forced into that role, but like life is life, whatever. Sometimes it just happens. Because then I'm like, if I'm the one that chooses it, then I'm like stressed the whole dinner. And I'm like, do they like it?
Do they
It's
like yes, dude. The anxiety when you choose a restaurant, it's crazy. And then I'm like, I hope the restaurant is like an appropriate amount of busy, you know, because like nothing worse than like you planning a dinner and then you go to the restaurant and it's like dead and it's awkward silence. Or the opposite. It's like super busy. You're waiting like 30 minutes for your table reservation that you already reserved.
Yeah.
And it's scary when you go to a new place that you've never been and you don't know exactly how it's going to be. I'm glad you feel that.
And also it like, I know myself well at this point. And like, if I choose a place and I'll tell people like, I like this at this place. And then someone will order something else and be like, I hated that place, like blah, blah, blah. Or like make comments about it, even if it's not like a mean comment like that. Like, oh, I didn't like this, this, and this. And I'm like, oh, like, is this a bad restaurant? And then I'm like, no, like, I don't actually care. Like, you can have your own opinion about it, whatever. But like, if you're not willing to choose something, complaining about it in front of someone that had to choose it because they were put in that position is annoying.
Yeah.
I don't vibe with people like that anymore. And I've actually not ended, but I've like let a few friendships go that I'm like, I don't know, they're too judgmental for me. Like, I think if someone puts an effort in to plan something, I just appreciate it.
Yeah. You can't be friends with me and be judgmental because I do way too many things that deserve judging.
Yeah.
That I just don't need I don't need your judgment.
I flag judgmental like really hard these days. And like people confuse like being assertive sometimes with being judgmental. I feel like I'm a very not judgmental person. I'll judge people that are like shitty people. Like if someone's morals are off, that's when I get judgmental. But like I don't care what your taste is in something. Like I'm not going to judge you for that. But like people like that are really hard for me to be friends with now because I'm like, I don't know, you're probably judging me for having a freaking podcast. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's so friggin' stupid of you.
It's
Because my podcast is cool.
We're so cool. We have the coolest photos coming out soon.
Yeah, we do. We'll probably have them when this episode's released.
Okay, so why are we talking about people pleasers?
Oh my God, that's what I was gonna say.
Also, before we do that, should we give examples of like what a people pleaser looks like in media?
Yes, because what we're going to talk about today with our people pleasing episode is why people pleasing is destroying your sex life, actually.
Yeah, big time.
And we're going to get into the deets of it, but we want to explain what a people pleaser is and what it looks like.
Yeah,
for you.
If you're like hearing me and Hannah talk about it and you're like, that's not me, I don't think I'm a people pleaser, like we'll give you some examples in television and movies.
Well, my first one that I immediately came to my mind was Charlotte York from Sex and the City in comparison to Samantha Jones, who is not a people pleaser at all. She's like a baddie that does her own thing. She has sex with people for like her pleasure and because it makes her feel good. She doesn't care about judgment from other people. Versus Charlotte York gets into these relationships and like makes herself the person that relationship wants her to be. So it's not, I feel like we don't ever get like the true Charlotte York because who she is as a character is literally just a people pleaser. Mm-hmm. She becomes a different version of herself every relationship she's in. And she's never fully satisfied because she's just trying to appease her partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good example. Who else?
You tell me.
I'm thinking Pam Beesly from The Office.
Yeah.
Is a good example, especially in the earlier seasons. I think she has a lot of character growth, which is different from Charlotte York. But she, like, especially initially, is kind of molding herself to these relationships. And then, like, once she's with Jim and they, like, grow into their marriage, she comes into her own a little bit more. And, like, that's when they fight more because she is not being a people pleaser.
Yeah.
You know?
And she, like, starts standing up for herself more with Michael Scott, like in The Office, but usually she just gets like pushed around by like this idiot boss.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then her early relationship was, what was his name even?
I don't know.
We don't care. But he was just like some loser guy that like pushed her around too. And she was so unhappy in her marriage, but just stayed in it because that's what she thought was best. Mm-hmm. And how would I look if I left this marriage? And how would I look, you know?
Yeah. Who else?
I said Rory Gilmore.
Good one.
Specifically because Rory puts on this perfect girl persona of like, I'm this perfect little girl from Connecticut. I can do no wrong. I get good grades. I don't do bad things. I don't drink and party and like other kids do. And I mean, in my opinion, the perfect girl persona is always just like a facade. It's not you living your life to the fullest potential. No one's perfect.
She always like molds herself into whatever guy she's dating too. Even in the comeback season.
I didn't see the comeback season.
Oh, well, there were like the 4 episodes.
Okay,
like,
cool. I need to watch it, honestly.
Later, and she's the same. She has like very little character growth.
Gilmore Girls is a fire show.
It's a good fall.
It's like so weird that it's so good.
Good
like
fall rewatch.
Nothing happens, but yet so much does.
It's because the like acting of what's her face, Lorelai. She's so good.
Yeah.
I just feel like she's such a good character.
Do you think Lorelai's a people pleaser?
In some ways.
In some ways, but I don't think she's full on people pleaser like Rory is.
Yeah. I think mothers a lot of the time written in shows have people pleaser tendencies because like that's real life too. Like, women are more so people pleasers because of this like nurturing role that we're given or expected of. But my other like big example is basically any like female main character from like a rom-com, or the one that like comes to mind, which isn't even a rom-com, is Grease. Like Sandy completely changes herself to get the guy, like molds herself to this relationship, and it's praised in this movie. It's like the end of the movie is like, oh, I won because it happened.
Yeah.
And then if you think of like rom-coms from the 90s, like all these women just kind of feeling small and like changing something to like get this dude to notice them.
They take their glasses off and now they're pretty.
Totally. So like that role too, like any of those kind of come to mind. And like what comes to mind for me is the main character from he's just not that into you, who like is so like desperately wanting a relationship that she's like willing to put up with like whatever at this point. And that one also comes to mind.
No, 100%. And notice how I don't even think I meant to do this, but we only named female characters.
Yeah.
Can you think of any male?
I tried thinking of men when we were thinking of it. There's definitely probably a select few, but it's something that I think women experience way more often, or at least like recognize. And it's also written for women way more often. Like that is just the role that's written.
Which brings us to the point of this episode.
Yes.
Because we know that you being a people pleaser is ruining your ability to have good sex.
100%.
Literally.
Literally big O.
Yeah. So
minus the big O.
Minus the big O. You're probably not having big O's. If you are a self-diagnosed people pleaser, you probably are not having really good communication in the bedroom either, which me and Amanda say it all the time. Communication is the number one foreplay.
We've always said that. What are some examples of what people pleasing would look like in the bedroom? So all of these are a extension of communication. So not telling your partner what feels good for you. Faking an orgasm would be your most blatant example of like not communicating in the bedroom, is like just pretending something feels good that doesn't. Having sex just to get it over with because it's been a while for your partner and you're thinking about them, or just like having sex that you don't really want to have because you're thinking about them and not thinking about what feels good for you.
Yeah, I would say agreeing to sex when you don't want to is a big identifier for sure. I'm going to give examples of this because you might hear that statement and be like, that sounds like non-consensual. I'm talking about like, well, it technically is it is non-consensual because you need like an enthusiastic yes, but the example I'm giving is like if maybe you're in a relationship and your relationship is kind of stagnant and you're like, well, we haven't had sex in a long time and he needs to have sex. So I'm just going to do it so that he can have it, like, and just keep him happy. Mm-hmm. And going that route, and just instead of communicating about like what's going on, communicating about what your needs are, or communicating so that sex can be better for both of you so that you'll actually want to.
Mm-hmm. And like usually it's coming from a place of like, I love my partner, I want them to be happy. And like just because I'm not enjoying sex right now doesn't mean I don't want them to enjoy it. So it's not even like you're not being pressured into it, right? It's like sometimes it's your idea. It's like, well, I want to get them off even if like I'm having pain with sex or I'm not enjoying it or like something's happening. So I'll just do this anyway.
Yeah. I was going to say some common areas or some common stages of life that we'll see this are during pregnancy. You're feeling like a lot of pressure and heaviness and you're uncomfortable. It's hard to move and maybe your pelvic floor is tighter and you have to get in awkward positions to have intercourse and it's just not good. Or maybe postpartum after you've had a baby and you're still healing, but it's after those 6 weeks. So you feel like, oh, I'm cleared for intercourse, but I'm not enjoying it right now. Or another one would be if you do experience pelvic pain, like Amanda said, you have vaginismus or something like that. Maybe you're not someone that has a high sex drive in general, and you're with someone that does have a high sex drive, and you feel pressured to have intercourse more often when you really don't want to. And then that makes your libido even lower because you're having more consistent episodes of unenjoyable sex.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any personal experience with this?
Yeah, I would say so. Give me time to think. Come back to me. I feel like you do.
I definitely do. And I can speak from personal experience that if you just end up doing it to please your partner, especially if you have a symptom, like I did have a bout of like pain with penetration at some point, and I would just like, to be honest, I would choose like positions where I'm like, this will be quick and it'll be like good for my partner. And that went on for like a few months, and it did not only not help my symptom, but did make it worse. So like, speaking from personal experience, that will only hurt you more than just communicating and like working through it together. And that's why we always talk about communication. That is much easier said than done, especially when you're the one in it. And I know that, which is why we're like talking on this episode about this.
And with you speaking of your example, I thought of mine. An example of for me was when I felt like the relationship was going south. And it's like, oh, I'm just going to do this to maybe it'll save it. That's probably something that other people have experienced often.
Yeah. I think these are very, unfortunately, common. Not normal. We don't want it, but a lot of things that are not normal are still common.
Would Samantha Jones from Sex and the City be doing this? That's what I need to like use as my example every now and then.
WWSJD.
Literally, WWSJD, because like she's not going to be like trying to hang on to a man by just trying to have sex with him more often. Like, no, she's going to be like, I don't want to have sex with you either. Let's move on. I'm going to find someone else that can do it better for me. Mm-hmm. Boom.
I love that. I want that on a shirt.
And then WWH and AD. What would Hannah and Amanda do? Communicate about our needs now. That's what we would do.
Yes, it is. It has been a game changer. There was a point where I was like, maybe I'm a little more asexual than I thought.
Yeah.
That is not an uncommon thing for women to experience.
That I have literally thought that I was asexual at some point.
Yes, and we are so not asexual.
I'm not asexual. I'm like hypersexual, if anything. Listen to us.
I have a very high sex drive. Mm-hmm. And there was a time in my life where I was like, maybe I'm just at the age where it's normal to not want to have sex anymore. I was 28.
Dude, literally so many people like, I thought I was asexual and I'm like, okay, if I look back to the person I was dating at that time when I thought I was asexual, all of their values, in life, outside of the bedroom, outside of anything else, were completely opposite of what mine are today. Like they are a completely different person. I'm not attracted to anything about like their soul or like who they are. Mm-hmm. And that is 100% a contributor.
Yeah. Also, during that time, because I have like close friends that I would open up to about this stuff. And like I have friends in long-term relationships and like the amount of mixed messaging there is from other people. Like this is why taking opinions like this into account should always be with a grain of salt, because there are people that still believe that it's fine to just like get to that place in a relationship and not want it anymore. And you have to ask yourself, is that true for me? Right? Like something can be true for someone else where they're like, I genuinely love this relationship so much, but like I kind of don't want to have sex anymore. And I'm going to live like that forever. For me, it was not good. I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me.
I was like depressed.
This isn't good. This isn't good for me. This is not aligned for me. So ask yourself, is it right for me?
Internally, you know it.
Yeah.
On the outside, you're like, maybe I'm just asexual. You're accepting it. But internally, something just like feels off in the relationship. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I'm so glad that you brought that up because I forgot that I had that face.
Yeah.
No, literally.
Yeah. I think a lot of people can relate to this.
Mm-hmm. Or are in it right now.
Or in it right now. And a lot of the times it's easier to just stay in it than do something about it at the moment. But what you can do is take small steps in the right direction. If you are in a relationship that you really value, but you find that sometimes you have these people-pleasing tendencies, just hearing someone say, continuing to do that will make it worse, might be what you need to hear today to actually like communicate with your partner and start working through some of this stuff. Because there are ways to come out of that for sure. It's not always coming from a toxic relationship that needs to end.
Or heck, maybe even seeing a sex therapist or reading a book.
Yeah.
Read a book, girl.
Pick up a book. You haven't even tried reading? That's crazy.
read a freaking book.
So when we're talking about having sex you don't want to have, that usually comes with some degree of, oh my God, this feels so good, when it really like isn't doing anything for you. Or you're gonna, I mean, sometimes people don't fake it at all, or like are just like, whatever, I'm just doing this for you. And like, that's one version of that. Another version is you're also faking that it feels good.
It's still possible to have an orgasm with sex that you weren't really like in the mood for or like weren't craving at that time. Definitely.
But even if it's not, like faking an orgasm isn't going to get you there.
No.
Any faster.
And just because you have an orgasm doesn't mean it's good sex.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah.
So don't let that fake you out.
You ever had an orgasm that you didn't want to have? I did.
Literally, actually.
I have. I'm not being ironic. I have. Where I'm like, damn it. Because I was like pissed at my partner or something at the time. And I was like, fuck you. How dare you make me come?
That's so funny. That's so funny, actually. But yeah, it's just like, I don't even like you that much. What's happening here?
My body wants this, but I'm pissed right now.
Yeah, literally. The other thing is that it is natural. I'm looking at your toes, man.
I'm sorry. I know the dogs are bad. I'm sorry.
Put them away.
I can't.
That's right.
My feet are scraped up from my heels yesterday.
Oh, from pole heels or what?
No.
Oh, shoes last night.
Just shoes.
It is natural for relationships to ebb and flow with your sex drive and going through natural dips of like, I'm not in the mood right now. Whether it's other life stressors going on, life stressors, life changes, pregnancy, postpartum, quick example, pain, injuries, etc. So this is a way where you can take a look at your relationship and be like, are we going through one of these like natural phases and we can use communication to get out of it? Or am I doing this to myself by just trying to please my partner, which is literally pleasing no one?
Right.
You're pleasing no one by being a people pleaser, if you want me to be honest with you.
Right. Because there's a difference between, here's an example where like pleasing your partner for them can be super hot. If you're just like, I'm going to make you come. And that's hot for me. And I think that'll make this a fun situation. If you're communicating about that, that can be really fun. Not everyone has to be stimulated all the time. But if you're pretending that it's fun and it's not, that's when it becomes an issue for your sex life. That's when like you're not going to make anything better for yourself. Right.
There's a difference between being a people pleaser and a people pleaser.
And pleasing people.
Pleasing people. Difference
and
between
a giver. There's a difference between a people pleaser and a giver.
Or yes, exactly.
Because like I love giving. I think that's awesome. People pleasing is not cute. It's not fun. It's something that like usually isn't our fault. It's just a way that we're nurtured in society to be. So the best way around that is to talk to your partner.
Yeah.
What's hot for you? What's hot for them? How does this work when we're in our ebb? Because every relationship does ebb and flow. What works for us?
Yeah. To me, the definition of people pleaser is letting go of the reins of yourself to give someone else the driver's seat.
Yeah. All right. Getting philosophical with it.
Doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah. It's just not being true to yourself.
Me, it is stepping out into the passenger seat and letting someone else drive your car.
Yeah.
You want to drive your car, baby. You want to drive a brand new Audi.
No one knows what you need more than you do. Even if you think they do. Even if you're like, I just don't want to like choose. Like, you know in your gut what you actually need in a relationship and in a sexual connection. So starting any amount of communication around that will be a step in the right direction.
Literally. Another example of being a people pleaser. This is a good one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Buckle up your seatbelt because I'm in my Audi.
Buckled up.
I think another example of being a people pleaser that people don't really recognize is not speaking up for what feels good for you in the bedroom or not doing what feels good for you. Mm-hmm. For example, I know this. Okay, wait, this might be personal. Okay, you know this, right? When you're writing someone, when you're having sex with someone with a penis and you're writing and it feels better for you for like clitoral stimulation to kind of like rub, but for like a guy, it will usually feel better for like more the up and down motion. Mm-hmm. And if you're like not doing what feels good for you in that moment.
Yeah.
That's an example of people pleasing.
That is a good example.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love a rub and dub.
Unless you're doing it like because you like are super into it and like want to make your partner feel good or mixing it up, like that's good.
Yeah, I think like there's a time for both.
But I'm saying like when you specifically aren't doing what feels good for you and what you know you're going to like because you don't think they're going to have a good time.
Right.
Which in reality, your partner should be enjoying sex even when they're not like getting off fully, knowing that they're making you feel good.
That like, I love that you said that because you thinking you know what's going to make them have a good time is also what's ruining your sex life because they might love that you're feeling great. Like the fact that you're avoiding something that feels good for you because it might not feel as good for them as another emotion. Like they might love that you're like getting off on that. You don't know unless you talk to them about it, or you just go for it. And if they're like, that was so hot, like that's awesome. You might just be like avoiding something that feels so good that both of you would actually really enjoy.
Yeah, that's period.
And this is also where people pleasing, like I was just talking to a friend of mine about like breakups and like in dating culture these days, people are ghosting and not explaining things to people.
I hate that shit.
I also like, I had talked to my therapist about this previously, and she was like, well, that's usually coming from a place of like someone thinks they know your needs more than you do, and they're like trying to protect you, but really what they're doing is giving you not enough information for you to be able to make your own decision. And that's exactly the same thing that you're doing by people pleasing in the bedroom. You're not giving your partner the information they need to actually say like, well, this would be really hot for me too. Like you're just trying to protect people, but it's actually doing the opposite.
Yeah, people pleasing does not help anyone.
No.
Definitely not you. And really still not the person that you're trying to please.
Yeah. It's a way of avoiding things. Really.
You're avoiding communication and avoiding having good sex.
Yeah.
You being a people pleaser is you actively choosing, I don't want to have good sex and I want to continue to not have good sex and I want to continue to not enjoy it.
It's like, you can't go back from that. Now I'm like, no matter what relationship I would end up in, like my communication level is so different. I know what my body wants. I know how to communicate with my partners. And it took me till I was like 30 to really find that. So sometimes it does just take time, and you can absolutely grow with a partner that you already have in this way. And like Hannah and I have talked about OMGYES before, like doing something together, like to help open that channel of communication, like stuff like that can be really helpful too.
Do a little flow chart for yourself. Ask yourself this. Am I having sex right now? Am I having good sex right now? And then ask, what are the reasons why I'm not having good sex if I'm not having sex? Like literally like list it out.
Reverse engineer it. List the issues, list like what could solve that, and list how you can get there.
Because we have the responsibility, right, and responsibility to have pleasure.
It is our responsibility to have pleasure.
Literally. Literally.
Yeah,
I like this episode.
I like this episode too. This is a swift kick in the ass. That's what it is.
Here's the thing. Don't be a people pleaser in the bedroom.
Here's the thing. A people pleaser pleases no one.
Here's the thing. People pleasing hurts everyone in the relationship. Everyone that's experiencing the sex.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Don't be a people pleaser out of the bedroom either. Also hurts the relationship.
And you're hurting me.
Here's the thing. You're hurting Hannah's feelings by being a people pleaser.
Yes. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see you wearing a pelvic freak tank and being a people pleaser. If you're wearing a pelvic freak tank, you're giving Samantha Jones energy.
Yeah. Here's the thing. WWSJD.
Here's the thing. WWH and AD. Ask yourself that.
Here's
All
the
right?
thing. Make a flow chart and reverse engineer it.
That's what we say here on Pelvic POV.
Yep. WWH and AD.
WWH and AD.
WWH and AD. All right, guys.
We need to call it.
We got to cut this one off. Make sure you're following us on social media at Pelvic POV for now.
Ooh.
Because we might have a surprise coming up.
Was that foreshadowing?
Perhaps.
Ooh, I love that. Guys, we have actually two. Amanda just whipped out an Uncrustable out of her butt crack. She was warming it up in there.
We have to go because I want to eat this.
Guys, before Amanda gets let free, I want to tell you that we're getting not one, but two guests on the episode coming up that we will be filming with soon. And I'm not going to tell you who they are yet, but that's your little hint. So we're going to have some fun topics to talk about. We've been wanting some doctors on this episode.
Buckle up in whatever car vehicle you have, folks.
If you got some questions for our pelvic pain doctors, that we might be having on, our OBs we might be having on, send them in.
Yeah. All right. Bye, pelvic freaks.
Bye, pelvic freaks.